Good morning, students. Sairam. Welcome back to your History and Political Science online session. Children, today we shall continue with Political Science, lesson number 1, Working of the Constitution, part 2. In part 1 online session, we had discussed about what is a constitution, political maturity, right to vote, decentralization of democracy, and right to information. Now let us proceed further. Now, children, social justice and equality, they're the two important objectives of our constitution. The constitution has laid certain guidelines to establish a new society based on these two important values. We are following the path which is laid down by our constitution to achieve these objectives. Now, how is it possible to establish a society based on values of social justice and equality? To establish social justice, we have to remove such conditions which are responsible for injustice, insist on giving equal status to all. All are equal in the eyes of law. There should be no discrimination on the basis of caste, religion, language, place of birth, gender, race, property, etc. Equal opportunity should be given to all the individuals to achieve development. So, in this way, social justice can be established. We can have a society based on justice and equality. So, these are very important points, children, to remember how social justice can be established in a society. Now, children, to establish justice and equality, efforts are to be made at all the levels of society. But the government's efforts and policies on this front are more important. For democracy to be inclusive, one must try to bring all sections of society into the mainstream. Democracy is in fact a process of accommodating different sections in society. So we have to bridge the gap between the rich and poor. There should be no discrimination on the basis of property. There should be no concentration of wealth in the hands of few. There should be proper distribution of wealth. So that way we can have equality. Democracy helps in reducing social conflicts. So it also helps in reducing social conflicts if we have a society based on justice and equality. So it is not only government's duty, but even all the people, all the sections of society, they should come into the mainstream, and then we will have a society based on justice and equality, and democracy will truly be inclusive. Now let us see what are the efforts made in India to reduce inequality. The first is policy of reservation of seats. Now children, this policy of reservation of seats, it is meant for those sections who have been deprived of opportunities for education and employment. So children, to give equal opportunity to everyone for education and employment, there is a policy of reservation of seats. Sections which are deprived of these opportunities of education and employment. So accordingly, in educational institutions and in government services, some seats they are kept reserved for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. There is also a provision of reservation of seats for other backward classes, that is poor people, those who are deprived of education and for employment opportunities. So for that, there are some educational institutions, and also in government services there are some seats which are reserved for them, and also reservation of seats for other backward classes. Now let us see the next effort taken to reduce inequality and to establish social justice. The Scheduled Caste and Tribes Prevention of Atrocities Act. Now, this is a very important act for establishing social justice and equality. Any act of atrocity committed against them is liable for punishment. So children, this act, it gives protection to the people belonging to scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. Any act of atrocity means any violence or physical injury. So if it is committed against them, then it is liable for punishment. So this is very important act for protection of people belonging to scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. Provisions for minorities. Now children, what do you mean by minority? What is minority? You all have learnt in your standard ninth about minority. Now, any group of people belonging to a particular language, religion, race, if they are few in numbers, they are termed as in minority. So minority is nothing but group of people of any particular language, religion or race who are few in numbers. So the Indian Constitution has made several provisions for protection of minorities. The government had adopted several policies for minorities to provide them the opportunities for education and employment. Even these people who are few in numbers, they should get proper employment opportunities and opportunities for education. Nobody should be deprived of education. So Indian Constitution has made various provisions in this regard. The Indian Constitution prohibits discrimination on the basis of caste, religion, race, language and region. It protects their rights to equality, freedom, right against exploitation, etc. So all this has been done by the government for the protection of minority rights. Next is laws relating to women and provision for representation. Let us see what are the laws related to women. Now children, in the post-independence period, efforts were made for empowering women. That is, after independence, lot of efforts were made for empowering women. Let us see what are the efforts. Taking into consideration the problem of women, several policies have been adopted at national and international level to remove illiteracy among women and make available opportunities for their development. So it has to be seen, it has to be taken into consideration what are the problems of the women, and accordingly there are various policies which are adopted at national level and international level to remove illiteracy among women and provide opportunities for their development too. The right to have an equal share in the property of the father and husband, Dowry Prohibition Act, Act Against Sexual Harassment, Domestic Violence Prohibition Act. These are some important provisions which create a favorable environment for protection of freedom of women and securing their development. Now children, this is very important question. It had appeared in the board twice. Okay, what are the important provisions that create favorable environment for protection of freedom of women and securing their development? So children, you have to write all these points. That is, right to have equal share in the property of father and husband, then Dowry Prohibition Act, Act Against Sexual Harassment, Domestic Violence Prohibition Act. These are very, very important, children. Concept map also can be asked, and this question had appeared in the board also twice. Okay, so you have to remember all these points. Now, many countries in the world have made efforts to increase representation of women. you'll have learned in your ninth standard that in the Constitution, 73rd and 74th Amendment, okay, it had reserved 33% of seats for women in local self-governing institutions. And this percentage has been raised to 50% in several states, including Maharashtra. So, children, now more and more you can see the women also they participate in the affairs of the government. So, 33% seats are reserved in local self-governing institutions, and this percentage has also been raised to 50% in many states, including Maharashtra. There's a National Commission for Women which has also been established. Children, just have a look at this chart which shows representation of women in Lok Sabha. The years, number of women MPs and percentage. In year 1951-52, number of women MPs were 22 and percentage was 4.50. In 1957, again it was 22, that is number of women MPs, they were 22 and percentage has gone down 4.45%. In 1962, there's a rise in number of women MPs, 31 MPs, and percentage had a rise of 6.28%. In 1967, 29 women MPs, 5.58. In 1971, again it has come down to 28, percentage is 5.41%. In 1977, there's a drastic change, that is 19 MPs only, okay. And what is the percentage? 3.51%. So here it is very less. Then later on, if you see after 80s, so there's a rise and fall. But then in 2014, the number of women MPs, it has a rise. Okay, it is 66 and the percentage is 12.15%. So this is a chart about representation of women in Lok Sabha. That is what is the rise and fall in the percentage, okay, of representation of women in Lok Sabha. Now children, the Act for the Protection of Women Against Domestic Violence is an important step in the direction of democracy. So there's an Act for the Protection of Women Against Domestic Violence, and this Act, it underlined the need to protect the dignity and self-esteem of women. So because of this Act, okay, to protect women against domestic violence, it underlined the need to protect the dignity and self-esteem of women. So children, today we had learnt about two important objectives of our Constitution, that is social justice and equality, and what are the efforts taken by the government, or what are the efforts made in India to reduce inequality and establish a society based on justice and equality. In our next class, we shall learn about the role of judiciary in establishing a society based on justice and equality. What is the role played by judiciary? So we will be continuing this lesson in the next class. Till then, take care of yourself. Signing.